Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of eXp Realty.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm David Yakir.
And I'm Susan Keller-Horn.
And you're either watching or listening to Yak About Today in Film, where you never know how the movie ends. So get up, put your headphones on, go for a run, but listen to what we yak about today.
Looking at my...
Oh, you're not looking?
Yeah, I am, right?
Hey, thanks for listening. I'm David Yakir here with Susan Keller-Horn.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, Susan, how are you?
I'm good.
And how was your
not
last
traveling
trip?
this week.
So last week was, the last trip was Ireland?
Yes.
Ireland?
No. It was New York and New Jersey.
All right, so Ireland was the week before that.
Yes.
Then it was New York, New Jersey.
And now I'm going back to New York and New Jersey.
And we're going back to New York, New Jersey. I'm starting to get the feeling that you're trying to ignore me.
Oh, I'm definitely trying to ignore you. I try so hard.
Hey, everybody, we're forced actually into this studio together every week.
This little black box.
Right. So, Susan, introduce our guest.
Our guest is Lisa McNamee, and she is here with us from the Theater Guild. And we have such exciting news about the Theater Guild, about our relationship with the Theater Guild, and what they're doing going forward. So welcome, Lisa.
Hi, how are you?
Good, we're good. So, Lisa, what is going on with the Theater Guild these days? Where you have lots of great new plans of where you're going to go. But actually, you know what? I'm going to back up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's back up.
Back up.
David.
Yes.
You and Lisa have been working on ideas of how the film festival and the Theater Guild can work together. So why don't you both tell us about what's happening with that?
You know what I'd like to do?
What would you like to do?
If you don't mind. A lot of people don't know, in our community especially, and we're broadcasting to Facebook right now, is the history of the Theater Guild. Because a lot of, it's like the film festival, like our festival. A lot of people don't know about our film festival. And a lot of people, when I ask, don't know about the Theater Guild. And the Theater Guild really contributes a lot of great art to this community. So it would be great if, Lisa, would you take us back a little, how the Theater Guild was created, and then we'll work our way to where we are now.
Okay.
And then we could talk about our partnership.
Okay. All right. So the Theater Guild actually is proud to say that we actually brought the arts to Vero Beach 65 years ago. We were over on the island at Riverside. And for 35 years, we put on our community plays through volunteers, et cetera, et cetera. But then the board decided that they really wanted to have a professional theater. And there were a group of them that decided, we still want to go with community. We still want to give the community an opportunity to volunteer in an area that they actually loved, and they're not part of the equity, and they're not part of the famous people, and et cetera, et cetera. So we moved across into the mainland and we purchased a church. And the church was right by the Department of Health. And in the process of the 35 years that we've been there, or the 30 years that we've been there, the church has been converted over to a community theater. So since, I would tell you, the main transition of the entire building, in all honesty, was during the COVID. We had a design director that we did not want to lay off, and we had volunteers that still wanted to do something, 4 volunteers, and myself, because I took over the presidency right before the COVID, or right after the COVID happened. And we went on to redo the entire building to make it more welcoming, more brightening, opened up rooms, opened up areas, because we realized that our patrons needed a safe place, and our goal was to open the theater again to give patrons an out from what was happening in the COVID, because many of our patrons were isolated, because we do cater to a large community of the older generation. So we were giving them the opportunity, and that was our goal, to come back. So in the process of doing all that, we had a capacity of 300. We took out 120 seats so that we could put our rows 6 feet apart. We took out carpets, we took out floors, we took out ceilings. We just, the 4 men and the design director redid the entire building so that it'd be more safe, it would be cleaner. And we put in air conditioning units, or we changed air conditioning units because I found they were quite old. But we also did a lot of this through grants, matching grants, and donations from our community, who are absolutely wonderful.
I love this. I actually love the fact that in our community, and we're not that large of a community, we have both a professional theater and a volunteer theater. I mean, a community theater. So I think that's absolutely fantastic. And for anyone who's ever been to the Theater Guild in the past, it is a completely different looking place. I mean, Lisa touched on it, but it's not just that they have now a 180 seat theater instead of a 320 seat theater, but you also added an additional theater. Tell us a little bit about that.
We did. Well, when I came in, we had applied for a matching grant from the Cultural Foundation. And it was a $24,000 grant, and we did get patrons to give us $12,000. And in the process of doing that, the result was the second floor, we have a rehearsal room with mirrors now and baffles, and a floor used for dancing and for choreography. And then on our main floor, we have now added what we're really proud of is a studio theater, which can also act as another rehearsal room. But the studio theater is more of an intimate environment. There are 32 seats, and you interact with the programs that are there. Our first program was Fire and Cellar, which is a story of Barbra Streisand's. Believe it or not, Barbra Streisand has an entire mall down at the bottom of her cellar, and she goes shopping there every day, and it was quite amusing. But it was more interactive because it's a closer range to the actors. And that was a one-man show, but with Ben Ehrman. But it's just something that you feel more involved with, per se. So we do have a studio theater now. And obviously, we are trying to get a benefactor to support that, as we are always getting a benefactor to support everything we do, because we can't depend on ticket sales alone.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does.
I think we can.
We're all in the same predicament.
We all are.
Right.
I love that we've had a relationship with the Theater Guild, with the film festival for a number of years, where we've had our films shown in the main theater, and then this past year we were able to use both the studio theater and the main theater, which was wonderful to have 2 films running consecutively at the same time.
Considered our best venue, by the way.
Yes, everyone loved it. It is the best venue. It really is an amazing, amazing venue. So, but with that, we've also created other relationships. But now, one of the things that, David, you were at a cocktail show, a cocktail hour yesterday, introducing a whole new show that you have going on. It's a series of shows on Tennessee Williams. Can you tell us a little bit about that, Lisa?
This is our first theater festival at the Vero Beach Theater Guild. And our goal was to concentrate on one author and all of his plays and movies. And that's why the film festival and the Theater Guild should be partnered, because literally, I would say probably more than 50% of the shows that we put on were movies, or vice versa. And his partner, Bert Witt, and they gave a talk about Tennessee Williams, and then we got to see the film of Tennessee Williams South, and it was quite enlightening, because you really honestly got to know Tennessee Williams himself through this interview. So there's a documentary interview with him. So then the rest of the week is every single day we have something with Tennessee Williams. We also have 4 films by Tennessee Williams.
Oh,
one of them is Suddenly Tomorrow. Another one is Tattoo Rose. And then we have 2 one-act plays going on, which is The Case of the Crushed Petunias. And my mind is going. The Case of the Crushed Petunias and This Property is Condemned. Those are 2 one-act shows, and they're going to be in the studio. Then we have partnered up with other community theaters for readings, for 3 readings on Wednesday nights. And that would be The Glass Menagerie, The Streetcar Named Desire. And after The Streetcar Named Desire, we are actually having a contest, a Stella contest, to see who could yell the loudest from...
Stella.
I know who's going to win. I'm not going to say, but I know. Actually, it's between 2 people, isn't it?
Is it?
It is.
That would be
Well,
very
I'm in the
interesting.
dark.
It's not me.
It's not me. And the third
Can I
one
apply?
is Summer and Smoke. And then and of course, Cat on the Hot Tin Roof, which is our main auditorium show, is every weekend on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, matinees on Saturday and Sunday, and then an evening on Friday and Saturday night. And we wind it up with Moonlight Casino, where we have a jazz trio and 3 of our very talented singers. Plus, you get to see the 2 one-act plays. And we have a bourbon tasting because Tennessee Williams was way into bourbon.
Oh, I know
love
that.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. So, you're a community theater. How do you cast these programs? And this is a lot of programs all at once. So that's got to be more challenging than what you've done in the past, where you have just one show at a time.
Most definitely. We do send out auditions. We have audition notices on our website at VeroBeachTheaterGuild.com. We have a pool of actors and actresses in the area, but some come from Palm Beach, some come from Melbourne, some come from West Palm, so they do come from all over. And it is very challenging because there is a great commitment when you're in a show. And these people do it for free. So we have to remember that they are giving up their time for weeks on end to learn their lines, to rehearse together, then to have come in for Tech Week the week before, and then be committed to all of the shows. So it is a great commitment. But the actors and actresses that we have are phenomenal, and their commitment is amazing. And they're doing something that they never got a chance to do. Some still work, and they come after work. A lot of them have families, and they come at night. So it really is a great commitment, and you have to really, honestly give them kudos for giving up so much of their time. But they love it. They love to be on stage, and we love them to be on stage, to tell you the truth. They're
I think
great.
people really underestimate the value of community theater. For years in Santa Barbara, when I was in graduate school, we did community theater. And I directed several plays with a lot of actors I knew. But I did one play in particular that went to LA for a bit, and then I opened it up off Broadway. And once it became professional, I have to tell you, I honestly missed the community theater version of what we were doing because there was a relationship there with people. You know, these are people who you're proud of. When you see them on stage, you can't help but applaud. You know, these are our friends. These are our neighbors. This is everybody coming together to produce something, that doesn't have money behind it. Like I was brought up in New York, and so we went to Broadway, and yes, maybe Broadway productions are excellent representations of what the writer has written, but community theater was always close to me. It's very emotional, community theater, and how everybody supports each other.
It really is. They become, I would say, since I have been associated with the theater, and this is not something that, I was an educator, so this is just not something that I did in the past. But every single show, the cast actually become a family, and they enjoy each other. And that's what they need, because they do depend on each other for the lines, and they depend on each other for the support during the shows and before the shows and after the shows. And it really is, David, it's a family. There's no doubt about it. But part of that family are the patrons as well. A lot of the patrons know these people and, know the actors and the actresses. A lot of the patrons know them just from coming to see them repeatedly. That's what's important, to be a family and to be a community. We say it's not just the theater, but it's a company. It's a theater of people. It's a community of people that come together to give entertainment, to provide entertainment.
And in talking about that, I mentioned about how casting happened, and you said people would go to Theater Guild, VeroBeachTheaterGuild.com, .org.
No, .com.
.com. Okay. So they would, they can look there, they can get on your mailing list. But there's the directors, there's the costume designers, there's all, tell us a little bit about what else goes into producing a play.
Okay, from start to finish, it's actually amazing. You do have your design director. We have an artistic director who is John Putsky, our production stage manager who is Lisa Keeler, and then our design director, Jeff Hall. And they come together, and when the board okays a slate of shows, Jeff Hall goes out and designs all of the scenes and what it's actually going to look like on stage. Then you bring in your costume people, and they have to investigate the authenticity of the costumes for all the show. They have to find the costumes. If they can't find them, many of them sew them. Many of them adjust, they alter them, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have the prop people. The things on the stage just don't magically appear. You have to get all authentic stage set designs and props. So they don't magically appear. So that's another job of going out and looking for it. And again, this is all on we have to look at our budget and keep to our budget. And then we have the makeup people, and we have the wig people, and we have a lighting person and a sound person. And, you think that sound is, you just push a button and you just put it up and down. And no, because you have to coordinate all the mics. You have to coordinate all the cues. When does this sound come? When does this doorbell come out? So it is very, very intricate. And believe me, I did not know any of this went on before I joined the Theater Guild. But I thought it was an interesting thing, and now I'm totally immersed in it and totally passionate about it. And even when you have the entire show set up, still the last week you're looking at things saying, that costume's not going to work. That color on that stage is not going to work. That lighting is not going to work. So they're completely and absolutely every day tweaking something. Even a prop. You might be looking for a prop, and you've put so much energy into finding the perfect prop, and then the director says, it's just not going to work. And so that prop, it's kind of like,
those
I did all that
directors.
time. I will tell you, those directors change every single day. They change something every day. But you know what? Couldn't do without the directors. And when we have the musical, we have musical directors and choreographers. That's an important part. And all those people do, again, come in and give their time freely. I think that's why it's so special, because they're there because they want to be there. They're not getting paid. They want to be there, and they want this to be beautiful. And then just the opening night, it was so refreshing to see so many new community members come out, because I have found in the 3 years that I've been associated with the Vero Beach Theater Guild that people who have lived in Vero Beach all their lives do not know about the Vero Beach Theater Guild, which is totally a mystery to me. They just don't.
When I moved here, I guess it was almost 20 years ago, it's actually one of the first season tickets that I bought. And we'd go every season and we'd see all the shows. And when my mom moved here, we would get season tickets. So I love the Theater Guild. I love seeing the shows. It's just really a wonderful place. And so if someone, you have more than just the Tennessee Williams programs coming up, what else is in your season, and how do people get season passes, or can they buy individual tickets and things like that?
Well, we have, we've already opened up with Footloose. That was our opening show, and that was in July. And now we have Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, and you can go to the Vero Beach website or call the box office at 772-562-8300. You can buy as many tickets as you want. If you want to change a ticket before the show happens, you can change a ticket before the show happens. Unfortunately, tickets are non-refundable. And once the show has been put on, of course, if you have tickets and you didn't get to see it, we can't refund those tickets for another show. The next show that we are going to have is November. It's sort of like it's a comedy, a musical comedy. It's called Musical Chairs. It's about a group of people that go see the movies and how they react to the movie. So it's quite comical. Then in January, we have Visiting Mr. Green, and that is about a young man who almost hit an older man, an elderly man, and he was told by the courts that he had to take care of this elderly man. So it is really the relationship that they have built, and the sort of I don't want you to be here deal, and they build a relationship through the play. After Visiting Mr. Green is Boy from Oz, and that is the Broadway show that Hugh Jackman became famous in.
Oh, wow. It was brilliant, by the way. Brilliant.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
I haven't seen that one.
He was brilliant. It was very good.
Here.
And then our closer for the year is Murder on the Nile, and we've all seen the movie, The Murder on the Nile. And
Stop talking about movies.
That's how we mesh, because the movies and the theater mesh all the time.
They absolutely do.
Mm-hmm. And we do need actors and actresses, and we invite everybody to buy tickets. Our tickets are $35 for straight shows, and then musicals are $40.
Is there a season pass?
There was a season pass at the beginning of the season. We actually had, you could still buy 4, but the season pass time is over. They usually put that out at the beginning of the year. That's a historical thing that the Vero Beach Theater Guild does. They put it out right before we open our season in July. That's when you get your season passes.
And we've got 2 minutes.
Okay.
So this is about where you tell everybody constantly where they get in touch with the theater, the website.
Okay.
How do they get on the mailing list? The mailing lists are really important.
The mailing list is very, very important because we send out messages all the time. And all you have to do is call the box office, again, at 772-562-8300. And our box office coordinator, Devin Fletcher, will be happy to help you. Or you can send a message to me in VeroBeachTheaterGuild.com, and you just message me, and I will put you on the mailing list. You can get us from Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. We're in 32963 repeatedly. And so we invite everybody. You're missing out if you don't come to the Vero Beach Theater Guild.
This is very true.
Yeah.
True.
And by the way, we didn't get a chance to talk about our partnership. So you have to come back next week
Yes.
so we can talk about this partnership.
Okay.
Because I'm really proud of it. And I hope you are too.
I am too. And you've twisted my arm, whatever.
Hey, there is one little thing that I noticed you didn't mention. You have box office hours, so people can actually physically go to the theater. So what is the address of the theater, and what are your box office hours?
The address of the theater is 2020 San Juan Avenue, and that is right next to the Department of Health. You cannot miss it. If you're looking at the Department of Health and you look to your left, we have our building. Our box office hours are from 10 to 2, Monday through Friday. And when a show is on, we always stay through the show at night. They will be there from 6 to intermission, the end of intermission, in case you come out and you think, wow, this is a great place. I want to buy tickets to more of the shows.
And it's VeroBeachTheaterGuild.com is where you can get tons of information, whether you want to volunteer, whether you want to be in a show, whether you want to direct a show, whether you want to go to a show. So
I want to do all those things.
Well, you've done all those things elsewhere. You may as well do them here.
That's right.
I know. I think our time is up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to see you next week.
Yes, you are.
Dr. Stephen Tate offers the safest and most efficient technique for customized cataract surgery. Patients are personally counseled on the best approach for their needs and lifestyle. From multifocal lenses that allow for distance and reading vision to toric lenses that correct astigmatism, let New Vision Eye Center guide you safely through your options. For world-class eye care on the Treasure Coast, visit newvisioneyecenter.com.
You're busy. You're an on-the-go person with a hectic schedule. So let Affordable Water deliver salt and water to your door so maybe you can relax for a minute.
For your H2O, call the Pure Water Pros. Affordable Water.
Even with all this financial uncertainty, real estate is still the best tool to build wealth. Whether you're looking at investments or using your real estate to provide a legacy, let us show you the way. I'm Chris Nolan of the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. Visit mynexthomefinder.com.
If you want a home that has the style of the coast, come to Sunshine Furniture during the Tommy Bahama and Lexington Fall Home event. Now until October 30th, you save 50% on all bedroom, dining room, media, home office, and occasional furniture with fresh finishes and rich textures made from materials that reflect the essence of resort living. Our 35,000 square foot showroom is also filled with the largest selection of in-stock coastal furniture from Universal, Hooker, Barcalounger, Riverside, Four Seasons, Capri, and more. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have the largest selection of patio furniture anywhere, including fire pits, umbrellas, and outdoor rugs. Come in now during the Tommy Bahama and Lexington half-price fall home event. Sunshine Furniture, 1295 US 1 in Vero Beach next to Planet Fitness. Family owned and operated since 1991. Visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com and don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store just across the street.